I'll ask. I still got it.
It's gonna be good for us too. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Vince? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Fred.
Hey, yeah. Sean.
Shawn, nice to meet you.
You too.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
So you got a tattoo parlor?
Yeah.
J Street.
Yep.
How long have you been here?
We've been here just about 5 years.
About 5 years?
Yeah.
And you've been doing this for a while? This
18
trade?
years.
18
I've been doing
years?
this
13 for me.
13 for you?
Yep.
Well, you started young then, huh?
18 years old.
Yeah.
Fresh out of school.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think I grew up in a business, family business too, an auto body trade. But same thing. I started right out of school, right into the business. So, but I was around it before then. But it's nice. Family business is nice.
Yeah.
It's not all like Orange County choppers. I don't think.
No.
No, they just got drama. They just got drama. That's a lot of drama.
They're making a lot of money with it, I guess too.
Yeah.
But you're on. What do you think of this J Street corridor?
I love J Street.
Yeah.
I always have loved J Street. It was always appealing to me when I came down here. Except for the construction, when they went through the construction stuff and you got all the mud and all that kind of crap. That kept a lot of people out of downtown.
Not to mention the homeless. There was a lot of homeless
A
people.
lot of
Yeah.
homeless people coming down here.
Yeah.
And that was, but J Street overall, when I came down here, I hadn't been down here in probably 6 years in Guilderland, 4 years on Curry Road. I probably hadn't been down here for like 8 years. And I came down here one day in October and the street was beautiful. I mean, there was something going on.
You were surprised.
I was surprised. I walked up that alleyway right there.
Yeah.
I walked down the street. I said, holy crap. I said, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then I looked at this building here, and it says 148, which is my birthday and my son's birthday,
Oh.
the address.
Yep.
I looked in the window. I says, I got to have this spot. And unfortunately, at that time, the spot was taken, or so-called taken.
Yeah.
So I went down to DSIC and looked for some other addresses because I wanted to be down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I saw all the bright lights at night,
Yeah.
and I seen that it was coming back. So I
Yeah.
said, we got to get down here before it does come back.
Yeah.
And plus, what we do, we're artists. This is the art district. It's
This
connected.
is the art district, you know. So I had found another building that I went to look at, actually where Pizza King is right now.
Yeah.
And they had another signing, or he was up at Saratoga or something like that, and we missed out on it.
Yeah.
And then I got a phone call saying that this deal here in this building fell through.
So you were in?
I met up with the landlord. He came over to my other shop, saw that we were legit,
Yeah.
and here we are.
Wow.
You know, so now it's been almost 5 years. Like I
Yeah.
said.
Well, this is nice seeing, things like this are good. Specialty shops that people don't see just anywhere. It gives you that Saratoga kind of feel too,
Yeah.
for what's going on, and I think it's a good thing. But are you familiar with the city of Schenectady?
I was born and raised in Schenectady. I
You were?
am 110% Schenectady.
Okay. Okay.
I lived in Texas for 2 months and came home.
Came home. Yeah.
I don't know nothing but Schenectady.
Yeah, nothing but
My-
It's
my
nice
kids-
to bring business to Schenectady because we did move to Guilderland. We were
Yeah.
originally in Guilderland for a few years, and then we moved to Rotterdam, and that's when the story he was talking about how we
Yeah.
found this place. We
Okay,
wanted
yeah.
to bring it back to the heart of Schenectady,
Yeah.
where we're from.
Yeah.
You know.
And the only reason I moved to Guilderland is because out of respect for the guy I did an apprenticeship for.
Okay.
I didn't want to move my shop into his
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
asked me where my shop was.
Yes.
I told him Albany.
Yeah.
He says good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if I said
Yeah.
Schenectady, we
Yeah.
probably would have had a little
Yeah.
hardship
Yeah.
kicking.
Yeah.
We paved the way for
Yeah.
Guilderland. Now
Yeah.
anyone can own a tattoo shop in Guilderland.
Yeah.
Before us, you couldn't.
You couldn't do that.
No,
No,
I
you
fought for 6 months to get into the town of Guilderland.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
And right after we opened, they started springing up.
Another tattoo shop
Yeah.
opened
Yeah.
up.
We
So-
don't want to mention no names, but
No.
No,
Yeah.
but I understand. I mean, it's a legitimate business, Tattooing's a legitimate business.
Yeah.
It isn't that it isn't. So it's good that you're here.
No, we felt this was the spot. This is
Yeah.
our spot.
and it's working out good for us.
Yeah.
It is.
Now, my concerns are I'm born and raised in Schenectady, and I've seen the deterioration of our neighborhoods and just the culture in general, with just trash being thrown in the streets out of people's cars,
Yeah.
and graffiti, people walking in the middle of the street and impeding traffic, dogs running loose, all these quality of life issues that I've seen have brought people not to want to live in Schenectady, to move away from Schenectady.
Yeah.
That's bothersome to me. And I don't know how you two feel about that. You know, what your opinion is of the city itself and the neighborhoods.
Well, I know that I pretty much lived in all the neighborhoods throughout Schenectady, throughout my life. I lived in Polish communities when they were very gorgeous. I lived in Italian communities when they were very gorgeous. I lived in Mount Pleasant for 15 years and raised my kids there when it was Italian community.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, you know, when the drug issues started kicking in and you had a lot of people coming up from this New York City area because where they lived wasn't as nice as Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
They come into Mount Pleasant, wow, this is nice. Apartments, 2 floors, you know, you can have pets, you know, and when they come in, they act like they did in the city. They throw their shit out the window, they carry their guns, they sell their drugs, so they just come to a nicer neighborhood
To do the same thing.
to do the same thing and ruin it.
Yeah.
And that's why you see a lot of trash. You see dope bags all over the ground. I went and visited a friend who actually lives in my old apartment, walking up to his house. He doesn't do drugs, and there's baggies on the ground.
Yeah.
Needles.
I see needles too. I've seen needles
You know,
on the ground.
and unfortunately, the Schenectadians who live here and grew up here and are retiring here and who will die here have to live with that. They don't want to tolerate it,
No.
but they live with it.
A lot of them are afraid. I know that. Especially the people that are in their 80s, you know, and in the early 90s. They stay in their house and they're afraid to come out.
They don't walk on the streets no more. They
No.
exactly like you said. They stay in their house and they go out in the backyard, or they have friends come up and they go to and do activities.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. So people are afraid to come out of their homes. The culture has obviously changed in the city. And we have to figure out a way to bring the culture back and to make people respectable, I think, of other people's feelings and their rights. What I see is we have a small minority of the population is dictating what normal behavior is. And that isn't the way it works in any culture that I know of, but it seems to be, it's kind of taken over here, and it's bothersome to me. And I really feel, hey, I'm 65 years old, so I don't have far to go before I'm going to be in the same boat as those people that are in their 80s, if I make it that far. And it's frightening because I want to stay in my neighborhood. I want to stay in Schenectady. I like it, but I don't like some of the things that are going on. So I think we have to work together with the population, with people who feel like you two, and to get a plan in place to make things work. And that's really, I think, is an important aspect of this whole thing. I know you say you work with the youth some. In your store?
Yeah. We do a summer program. It's a Schenectady job training agency where we have the youth come in to work and see what it's like to work and get a paycheck. They pay them for us, weekly paychecks, but they come in, they put 20 hours a week in here, helping us around the shop and stuff, and getting the gist of what it's like to be a worker, you know. And that helps out, I think. We do it every year.
That's a great program.
And it's not a stressful atmosphere either. They come in and they watch us deal with people. They watch us how we talk to people. And there's no animosity. There's no bad attitudes in here. Anybody that does come to the shop and work for us, their pants have to be pulled up. They can't have no attitudes. They can't swear. They have to be respectful, and they have to do their job. But they see that from us.
We give them a positive atmosphere to be positive in, and hopefully it helps them out. You know.
And they also, in the same token, see the people that we have to deal with.
Yeah, the negative, because we deal with a lot of negative going through here. You know.
But us as business owners have to deal with them in a positive manner, no matter how negative they are. You know, of course, when they leave the shop, we always say our bit about that person. You know what I mean? And if the child that's here working for us, you know, we let them know. You know what's going on.
So they know what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, how to treat people, how not to treat people. This is a great thing. This is a great program you're putting on. See, here's one of those things that's going on in Schenectady. Probably not a lot of people know about it. It's the first time I've heard about it, but that's a great. You have your own school here, basically, is what it is. And you're not just teaching the profession. You're teaching behavior and morals.
Plus, they love music and they love art. There's not a kid in this world that doesn't like music, and that doesn't like art. Every kid doodles with crayons and markers. You know, and every kid sings.
Well, I grew up in, I'm a musician. I've been a musician since I was like 12 years old. And I still am. Yeah, maybe we could do something. But it is great, and it's a great outlet too. Music, anybody ever says they want to, whatever instrument they want to play, if they want to sing, it's great.
You can express yourself.
Yes.
Very venting.
Yes.
Because when a child sings or does a track and he hears himself, it's an inspiration.
Yeah. It's like therapy for your soul too.
And they try to do better the next time because they recognize their sound, their mistake that they might have made. And the same token on when they draw a picture. They draw a picture and you show them, you know, stay in the line and blend this color, and the end result, they got a smile.
Yeah, and it gives them to focus on, something to focus on and look forward to, and not running around on the streets, you know, like a boys club kind of, you know?
Yes, and we're missing that, you know, we're missing that. There's not a lot of youth activities that are available like they used to, like there was, you know, it's just, they're just not there anymore. Whether it's because they're not funded correctly or there's not any interest from the kids, but when you take somebody in, you're teaching them exactly, here's how the business works, you're also showing your trade, you're giving a lot to the community in doing that.
Myself, I did some volunteer work for the Boys and Girls Club over in Mount Pleasant. I did volunteer work there for 6 months, and then they hired me.
All my friends that went there loved my dad.
Yeah, everybody loved me in the Boys Club. And then I went to Camp Lovejoy and became a counselor at Camp Lovejoy, group leader. And I ended up getting very distraught and disturbed because of a couple instances that happened with the adults and the children. I think what needs to be done with the Boys and Girls Club is more construction. Criticism and construction. And that's going to put the kids on the right path. If the adults don't take care of the criticism and the construction, the kids ain't going to either.
Yeah.
And a lot of the funding has been cut too, so they don't really have much to do.
That's getting tough, and in today's day and age, that's going to even shrink up even more. So we need volunteers and positive role models like you are. I mean, that's what's needed, because unfortunately today children don't have positive role models in their home. So they may have to seek that outside their home.
You know, we find that a lot down here.
We do, a lot. Maybe they can take some of these small Boys and Girl Club facilities and combine them into one facility in each county or area, whatever the case might be, and have some constructive criticism. You know, and make it a positive atmosphere, not a dungy place. I did work at the Union Street Boys and Girls Club back when I was 17 years old. It was very old, very dull and dingy. They had me to fix a pool table that was 15 years old. You know what I mean? When you get into that kind of atmosphere, it's not overwhelming to the spirit to be vibrant.
Yeah, and they should have programs for the children to help the children work on their future, not just for something for them to play basketball right now.
Because their parents are working.
Something to help them in their future.
It's babysitting. That's exactly what it is. It's babysitting.
It's like a daycare for older kids.
The employees are sitting there just watching. You know, it's not like, hey kids, all right, come on over here, let's do this. You know, they're there because their parents get out of work at 5 o'clock, they get out of school at 3 o'clock. When the parents are home at 5 o'clock, they go home and eat at McDonald's or something. That's a family thing too. You know what I mean? There's no more home cooked meals anymore.
No.
You know, it's
I mean, what we knew, we remember, we realized that's in the past. It's not going to happen because, unfortunately,
both parents are working.
Yeah, because of the economy, both parents have to work. My mom was always at home. You know, but that can't happen anymore. You know, I came home, I had a peanut butter sandwich, a glass of milk was waiting for me. That's not that way anymore. I know a lady that she's the director of Quest, and they're up on Upper State Street where the Schenectady Light Opera used to be, across from the old King Cadillac Garage. And her program is really for kids in need, and she puts on a great program. And she tells me, I mean, she cries sometimes what these kids are up against, and they come to her for guidance, for love. You know, and that's what you have to show.
It's very sad because there's a lot of kids out there. We've heard it through some of the kids' music that comes through here, how they want to kill their dad, they want to slap their mother, you know, that kind of stuff. But it's sad because those kids can't vent. And the only place they can vent is if they go to a facility like that to somebody who cares. If the person doesn't care, if the person doesn't care that they're talking to, they can't vent. You know, and then they're going to stay stuck inside, and they're going to carry the attitude right back out the door,
and onto the street,
before they get home. And then when they get to home, they go and hide in their bedroom. Who knows what they do? You know what I mean?
So this is a far-reaching problem, and there isn't any one real answer to it,
No.
except that we need more people to be involved and do what you two are doing. I mean, that program you put on this summer is terrific. You know, maybe a committee can be formed somehow of business owners, you know, in the area, even on J Street or in Schenectady per se, to run more of these programs and get kids more involved so they have a future.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
Me and my son's idea was, like I said, a reconstruction facility, you know, and if they were able to even come up with some volunteers to get something like that off the ground, that's a start.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen with adults because you can't teach an old dog a new trick. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get these people who have attitudes and they're not going to volunteer because they have to do their 9 to 5 and they have to go to the laundromat and they have to do blah, blah, blah. You have to find somebody who's willing to do it from the heart and really actually care about the kids.
That really matters.
Like I said, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can teach a puppy how to sit.
Yes, you can.
You know, and the kids are the puppies.
Yeah.
They're moldable.
Yes.
They're still moldable.
Yes.
It's just something where our society should be like.
I talked to David before about this. You know, we were talking about littering. You know, they don't know any better when they're small, but they can be taught. Like we were taught in school that it's not. You don't litter. You know, you don't take your candy bar. You know, and eat it and throw the wrapper on the ground.
Yeah.
You don't do it. You got a trash receptacle there. You throw.
Yeah.
But I've seen people do trash receptacle. They throw it on. They don't know any better. That's what they haven't been told. That's not acceptable.
They follow by example.
Yeah, because adults do it too. You know, they see
Adults do
people
it all the
doing it.
time.
They see garbage all over the place, and it's like, oh, everyone else is doing
I'll
it.
tell you what, I got people that come into this shop here. I have a no cigarette butt thing policy on the ground and no spitting.
Right.
And I tell them,
Yeah.
and I even got a sign over here that says no spitting or cigarette butts on floor or bam.
Yeah.
So when they reach out to pick that cigarette butt up, I'm going to slap them in the back of the head and they won't do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
That's it.
the
Yeah.
bottom line.
Yeah, well, that's it. But we have the same ideas. I could see that. We need people with these ideas to come forward and band together and get more people involved. I wouldn't have any problem at all if we could go to elementary schools and talk to kids that are moldable yet, you know, when they're 7 or 8 years old, when their minds already haven't been maybe turned one way too far, one way or the other, where you can tell them this is right and this is wrong.
You start molding them.
And do you want to be a good citizen? You know, do you want to live in your house and have people respect you? And I'm still called Mr. Riggi by kids that I coach in Little League, which was in the 70s. I don't know who these kids are. I have to ask them, you know, because I don't know. But, you know, you gain their respect by you show them that you're willing to give to them. And I think that's certainly what that's all about. But I like your reconstruction idea, I think about, because we do have graffiti problems, obviously. We have kids that maybe don't know how to express themselves. I know some of it's gang related, it's tagging. That's not being artists, but the artist end of it in graffiti, I've seen some of it's pretty amazing.
I think I've seen a lot of awesome graffiti artists. We do a lot of research for our tattoo work, and we go into graffiti websites. I mean, there's some phenomenal artists out there that you would not believe it was done with a spray can. A lot of the kids out here, they go and steal the spray paint. And then they do it behind people's backs. They have somebody watch their back, and they just mark a territory saying that they were there. I think maybe if they had an opportunity to do this to show off their artistic ability, I think that'd be a good
have an
avenue.
event with a designated
or have an
area
event
where they can do
something
that legally.
Maybe a contest and an event,
Yeah, something like that.
Because
Then
legally
you
is the question.
Yeah.
When they're tagging either private property or public property, it's not legal.
No, that's against.
We have problems with
Yeah.
that right in the back of our building
Really?
all the time. They
Yeah.
just recently put up a coat of this gloss stuff that
So
you can't tag on.
They won't tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just did that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big problem for us.
We hated it. We hated it
Yeah.
because we'd walk down the alleyway and we see our buildings
It'll be
tagged.
one thing
Yeah.
if you had like a nice, something nice,
Mural.
nice mural of some sort.
Yeah.
But they're just, like you were saying, a lot of it's gang related.
Yeah, that's the downside of that. And but if there was a place, there's a legal place where they could show their artistic ability, invent with that. I mean, that's a good idea. It gives an option.
Yep.
It gives if they still choose to tag with gang messages on buildings, then they should be arrested. That's really as simple as that. You have to have accountability. no matter what it
Absolutely.
is.
They know it's
anything.
illegal.
And that
Yeah.
goes into the
Yeah.
thing that the children don't know what to do, so they're joining gangs now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they don't have
Yeah,
nothing to
they're
do.
not joining Little Leagues, Boys Club, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts,
Right.
you're right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And
their
And
activity.
then that goes into the parents, because the parents don't have time
Yeah.
to bring them to
To
Little
go to the
League,
kids,
bring
yeah.
them to this,
It-
show them this, show
It's
them
really
that, you know?
a sad commentary, the whole thing is, but I think as adults, we have almost a responsibility to try to bring things back and to give these kids
Most
a chance.
definitely, yeah.
Because a lot of them don't have much of a chance, and it's pretty sad,
Yeah.
you know?
It's a good thing that there's people out there that will pay it forward
Yeah,
and try to do something, but in the end, when it balances out, it comes down to the parents.
Yeah.
sure it does.
I mean, you have a person like yourself or myself who's willing to work for a child or help a child, one child, and he goes home and now there's two people working against him
Yeah,
versus myself or him or her.
yeah.
You know
A
what
lot
I
of
mean?
these
So-
children don't have two parents.
Yeah,
A lot of children have one, yeah.
it's an uphill battle, there's no
Yeah.
question about that.
It would take a
Yeah.
group. It would take
Yeah.
a group of people
Yeah.
that really cared, that would get these kids off the street.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in order to fix Schenectady, you know, the parents have to do what they have to do, or the business owners have to do. You know, the business owners is what's going to make Schenectady.
yes,
You know, the stores
yes,
and all that
yes,
kind of stuff.
yes.
Then getting the people in Schenectady is another issue.
Right.
You know, we have to
Right.
let people know
'Cause I
that
think, you
Schenectady
know-
is coming back.
Yeah, because everybody complains about the taxes are high, and they are. But one way to bring the taxes down, it's not going to happen tomorrow or anything. If we get people to move back here so the vacant houses aren't vacant, they're paying taxes again, that'll automatically raise the tax base and it should lower everyone's taxes. Along with consolidation, a lot of other, we won't get into that. But we need people to want to live into the city instead of fleeing the city, and that's what's going on now. I'm hearing it every day. I hear, I'm getting out, I'm going to sell my house, we're getting out of here, you know, and it's not a good message, and it doesn't bode well for the rest of the people in the city. But it was great meeting you, and I like
Absolutely,
your
Chris. It was
ideas.
nice
Yeah,
meeting
Fred
you
and
too,
Shawn,
very much.
you two guys are great.
Thank
Upstanding
you.
citizens,
Yeah,
and it's
thank
great.
you.
And I'm glad you're here on J Street
Oh, we
and doing your
appreciate
part.
being here,
Yeah,
definitely. We
this-
appreciate
If you ever get that program going with the children that
Yeah.
you were talking about,
Yeah.
come
I
to
can
us.
see, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, yes.
No,
We
you'll
can
be,
be
a part of
you'll be
Yeah.
on the list, because this is what we need. And it really lifts my spirit to hear that there's people that want to get involved.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
that's
We were
what-
going to do it on our own. Once we
Yeah.
made big money,
Yeah, yeah.
we were going to do it on our
Yeah,
own
yeah.
anyways.
But you
know what
certainly
I mean?
have the right intentions, and that's really 90% of the battles, have the
Oh,
right
absolutely.
intention to go forward. So,
Absolutely.
again, hey, have a nice day.
Thank
you
guys.
very
Nice
much.
meeting you
Thanks,
again.
you
Nice
too.
meeting you. Have a
Okay,
good
Take care.
day.
take care.
Yep. Very nice.